most entrepreneurs in the beginning, you're like a one-man band, right? Like you're all of it. You're the marketing, you're the sales, you're the deliverables, you're the accountant, you're the bookkeeper, you're the manager, you're all these things. So a lot of people get stuck. Like if you've noticed out on the internet, like there's all these scaling coaching programs out there, like Scale Your Business, because people want to scale, they just can't.
The truth is, it's like if you actually want to make this your career, like you're gonna have to do this event or this workshop you're thinking about doing like 1,000 times.
Why was my voice like that? Well, I was afraid. I was nervous. And it was expressing itself over my vocal cords. So I've seen a lot of people quit because of that.
That's why anyone that's in service delivery, coaching, anything like that, like they have to be on an edge all the time because your clients inherit your consciousness.
It's incredible. Like imagine that. Imagine having an organization where you rely on visualization to produce all your results. Hey, I'm Dave Conway, and I'm here with my wife, Jacqueline. Welcome to the 30-Day Year podcast. Here, we explore ideas, philosophies, and real stories to help you take your annual income and turn it into your monthly income. Join us each week as we challenge conventional thinking around success, business growth, and building a life of true freedom. This podcast is created with your growth in mind. To help us reach more people and to make sure you never miss an episode, please like and subscribe. Let's get started. If you're loving this video, hit the like and subscribe button and never miss any of this life-changing content.
Welcome back to another episode of the 30-Day Year podcast. If you're a business owner, particularly interested in multiplying your results, this episode will be very interesting because most business owners, at least the ones we talk to a lot, are wanting to increase the income in their businesses. And so let's dig into that, and particularly the mental side of that conversation, because it really is a habits game and a thought game. And I think there's more to dig into, specifically with your 4 habits of financial freedom. We're going to focus in on the first habit, specifically increasing the income.
Okay.
And I want to ask you questions about that for you to go deeper on, maybe more tactical even or practical, that applies to business owners at any level. And just shine some light on that, help people earn some more cash and really help them go for these 30-day year goals. Are you up for that?
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. So to get us started, just to kind of set the scene for like the thinking patterns of business owners and entrepreneurs, what do you think distinguishes high income business owners, so people doing like 3 to 5 million and beyond, from the masses that are maybe earning less than $1 million in their business?
So people are under $1 million, because I used to be a person that was under $1 million.
Yeah, under $1 million. So what do you think
it
is
was
the
my
difference?
thinking. It was my thinking, and how I, well, first off was my thinking, but second, how I went at my day, how I went at building my business. That was leading to my under $1 million company. Company went over 5 million when I changed my thinking, and I had a goal of actually going to 5 million.
Yep.
You know, I remember sitting in an event room once, thinking, wow, if I earned over $1 million a year, like that would just be unbelievable. You know, that was my summit of Everest. That was just an incredible idea. And now if I earned that we'd be in big trouble.
Right.
Yeah. So it's interesting how that changes and how our thinking progresses, how our thinking starts to change. But I would say 100% is the thinking. And then after that, it's, who do you have working with you?
Yeah, the people. And then how do those people think? It's always just like this culmination of thought, and how then you can work together and how you can collaborate and be creative together too.
Yeah.
And like the data is like kind of depressing sometimes when you look at it. Like a very small fraction of business owners will actually even cross 1 million, let alone 10 million or 100 million and beyond. It gets like even just smaller, teeny tiny little percentages that ever get there. But even to cross that 1 million is a big stretch for a lot of people. And I agree that it is like this thinking thing. Like it's just all of our thoughts.
Yeah. And like, I remember when I got paid $10,000 to coach somebody, and I was just like, whoa, like my reaction to that was just, that is crazy.
Right.
Now that's an everyday occurrence, but back then it was so huge. So
Yeah.
it's when the thinking becomes natural, like when that is your new status quo. And as you progress out of that, you'll progress into higher and higher levels and higher thinking. You attract different thoughts too, different thoughts, different people.
Like, why is income a reflection of thinking and not effort?
I think, well, income's trackable.
Right.
So your income will increase if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur. Like your income will increase from two main areas. One, the quality of your service. So how good is your service? When your service is better than everyone else, you can ask for more because people want higher quality. The second is quantity. So how many people are you serving? So you could sell $1 item a million times, or you could sell one item that's $1 million once. And that's all based on the quality and then the quantity. So the quality and the quantity of your service is what's producing your income. Now, most entrepreneurs in the beginning, you're like a one-man band, right? Like you're all of it. You're the marketing, you're the sales, you're the deliverables, you're the accountant, you're the bookkeeper, you're the manager, you're all these things. So a lot of people get stuck. Like if you've noticed out on the internet, like there's all these scaling coaching programs out there, like Scale Your Business, because people want to scale. They just can't.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're lazy people, it's their thinking that's doing it.
Right.
So as we start to change our thinking, what we accept around us, what we accept as our service, as we start to change the quality of our service, you'll find that your income starts to reflect those changes. That's why I personally love money as a main metric, is the quality and the quantity of my service increasing. Because you could have a 100-client business and be doing a hell of a lot more income than a person that has 10,000 person business, like clients.
Right.
Depends on the quality and what the outcome is and the value of it.
And profitability and these things. I know for myself, like making an evolutionary change in my person and my identity to help grow our business has really just been this like adherence to being a thinker and not a doer anymore. Because for so long, and I think everyone has to be a doer in their career. You have to learn the skills, like I had acquired many different skills in marketing, whether it's like designing things or knowing how to send out emails to different segments, like, granular things like that, or learning how to write copy or learning how to map out full marketing campaigns. Like there's so much tactical things that you need to learn, at least in the marketing field for sure. But it got to the point where I was like, if I keep doing this, we're going to stay here. I have to get comfortable bringing someone else in to help do these things so that I can ascend and just be looking at the broader scope. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to stay in it. You're just going to stay doing forever and ever and ever. And you're going to just frustrate yourself.
Yeah, you got to create systems,
And hire people.
Yeah, hire people. And people are the biggest pain in your butt, aren't they? Like they really are.
It's a lot of work. It's tons of work, but
heavy investment. But if you take like, I think Amazon has like 60,000, north of 60,000 employees.
Yeah.
And some people, I remember me, I'd be pulling my hair out with 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's a system.
There's a system, and there's so much to learn in that. But the thing is, if you decide that you're going to ascend through a 30-day year and you're going to go to $1 million a year, and then beyond that, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, 100 million, whatever you want to go to, learning that you can't stay in the doing, and you're like, okay, I'm going to hire somebody, and then they come in and then it doesn't work out and they leave. Oh, I'm going to go back and do it. It's like, nope, you have to adhere that you've ascended up and like you create a position, and no matter what happens, you have to keep replacing that person. Do you know what I mean? You have to keep replacing that person. Because I find for me, I would get like pulled back in a lot. It kept happening. And I was like, oh, this is so annoying. Like cycling back all the time. And so a habit, I believe, of like wealthier business owners is that they've completely removed themselves from the doing, knowing that their job is really to be doing the thinking about the business, understanding money, understanding service, understanding like what's going to help them grow, and then keeping their employees, working and happy and working in a system that's going to, continue to grow the business, right? Like you have to ascend to becoming that thinker.
And it's scary because there's a risk involved. I remember a mentor of mine said to me, Dave, you'll hire people, they'll make mistakes, and you'll pay.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't willing to do that. Maybe they do it once, maybe they do it twice. And then because of that, they say, oh, this must be wrong. Even recruitment of people is, if you can crack that code, you'll be a multi-millionaire.
Oh, for sure.
Even
we
a
did
billionaire.
a pod about it, right? We talked about this before. So I want to pivot into the habits. And you've talked about on this pod before the 4 habits of financial freedom. So just to quickly summarize, the first is increasing your income. The second is
saving and investing.
And then the third is giving and tithing. Charity,
generosity, tithing. Yeah.
And the fourth is reducing debt or eliminating debt.
Yep.
So we're just going to talk about the first one today, which is about increasing your income. And so I think that there's maybe like a mix of habits within that. So it's like, this is the primary habit, and there's like sub habits that help you increase your income. And what would those be? Can you speak to that?
So if I was talking to a person that wanted to increase their income, first thing I would tell them to do is how much money do you want to earn? Number one. So let's start to get that number in the mind. So for me, I was a carpenter earning $5,000 a month. I want to turn $100,000 a month. So that's the number, and I wanted to do it in the personal development industry, mentoring people. So that's the idea. Then what I would say to them is, okay, you need to get out into the world. So what can you do to get out there and serve more people? Because really what you're battling, we're all battling it, is irrelevance.
Yeah.
People can't hire you or know, you could be the greatest coach in the world, the greatest whatever you are in the world. But if someone doesn't know you, they can't hire you. They can't be served by you. So you got to get out of the getting consciousness and the getting thinking, and you have to get into, how can I go out there and have more people experience this? If you go to a Costco on a Saturday, God bless you if you do. It's very, very hectic in there. But if you go to a Costco on a Saturday, there's that free samples. So what are they doing? They're getting to experience something. Now, what's really interesting is like, you can experience like that certain food, which is going to increase the chance of you purchasing it. But also, it actually contributes to the whole Costco experience. Like Costco is a giving place, So that's like, to try it out, you have to get more people to experience your service. So you got to get an idea out, and you got to keep doing that idea. For us, it was starting to do talks. And we still do that.
Yeah.
Here
events all the time.
Yeah, and now we're doing the podcast. People can experience Conway mentorship through this podcast. So constantly asking yourself, how can I serve more people? How can I battle this irrelevance problem and keep getting out there in the world and start to release energy into people? After you do that, then you start getting into what I call increasing your quality. So when you go out into the world and you release your service or energy into the world, you're going to get feedback. Now, a lot of people in the beginning, especially when they're starting something new, some of them are terrified to go out into the world. Some people are afraid to go up to someone and shake their hand and say, hey, how are you? So after you go out into the world, the chances that you're world class, so whatever it is that you're doing, it's probably not that high. So I remember when I did my first talk, for the first 15 minutes, like my voice sounded like this, like,
Yeah.
And it wasn't for a while that I got a little more comfortable talking that started to curb. But that was going on like that for a long time. That was embarrassing. And why was my voice like that? Well, I was afraid. I was nervous.
Yep.
And it was expressing itself over my vocal cords. So I've seen a lot of people quit because of that. I've seen people quit before they ever even go out and go the extra mile with the world, go out and risk themselves. So because I desired to do the work so much and because I wanted to help people, that's what kept me coming back. So as I started to do that, I started to realize, okay, where did I lose control? Where did I lose control? And through that question, over and over and over, I can do talks now for days on end and not lose control of the room for even 1 second.
Yeah.
So that's increasing the quality. There's nothing stopping you from increasing the quality. And trust me, the quality of your product or service always needs to get better. After you start to focus on that, then you're going to move into quantity. So push the limits on what you can do. I remember in my second year, between the second and third year, I had over 230 clients, coaching clients. Mm-hmm. And if you'd have told me that before, I think, well, that's impossible to manage that much. But as I started to build out the quality, I found that I could manage a hell of a lot more than I thought I could. Mm. And that's the year, within the next few months after that year, the income went over 1.4 million. So I went from a carpenter earning $5,000 a month, swinging a hammer, to going more one-to-many in an intellectual property, I guess, sort of business. And income went to 1.4 million. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would say to the person just starting, or even if you're in business already, start to release more energy, get creative, come up with some idea. How can I get more people to experience my service? Because as they experience it, the chances that they're going to buy it increase.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've distilled this down to 4 habits.
Okay.
Can I read them for you? Because they sound similar to other habits that we've talked about before in other ways. But the first is the habit of goal setting. The next is the habit of providing service and leaving people with the impression of increase.
Yeah.
The next is the habit of receiving and implementing feedback. And the last is I have just the habit of increasing your capacity. Because ultimately, the last 2 kind of tie into that. It's like you're providing a service, you're running events, you're running a podcast, you're creating content, you're doing something to allow people to experience what you do in some way, one shape or another. And I think in the modern world, we're all creators now. Like if you have a business, you're a creator now. It's usually how it works. Yeah. You have to be creating content.
It's kind of tough on people, I think. But
it is tough on people. But it's the modern world, I suppose.
But whatever, that's
right?
their problem, right?
I guess so. It's just part of the modern. It's just what it is, right? It is what it is. So when we hear about once I put it out there and I learn from it, right? And then I get better. That's the idea.
Yeah, it's quality.
And so, that's deepening your capacity. So, when I see your transformation, your evolution, even my own evolution, it's just this constant deepening of capacity, all the time. And the only way to do that is by putting yourself out there and getting your butt handed to you a bunch of times and then still showing up and keep going back and keep going back and keep going back. So sometimes I laugh when people, it's not that I'm laughing, but people will say, they'll come to events of ours and you can tell they've got these desires, they're doing one thing, but they want to do something else. And then they're like, oh, I just really want to do this thing. And it's like, well, go and try that thing because maybe number one, you don't even like it. Or maybe you suck at it, all these things. And the chances are they will be sucky at it in the beginning, but they get caught in their head and they get so scared because it's so different than something they've been doing in the past. So they're scared of what people will think, or they're scared they'll fail. And there's all this tension around it. But the truth is, it's if you actually want to make this your career, you're going to have to do this event or this workshop you're thinking about doing 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Maybe even 10,000 times before you're
and how many of those are going to be failures?
Oh, yeah, exactly. So it's girl, it's usually girls. It's not always girls. Sometimes it's guys, but it's lady, it's not even about this one. It's about the 500th one or the 1,000th one that you do.
Yeah. And if you already formed the habit of settling and quitting on the first one, you're never going to get you're never going to get to the second one, let alone the 500th one.
Exactly. You've shared on other podcasts too how I used to be into Pilates. And I was thinking about becoming a Pilates teacher. This was 8-9 years ago, a really long time ago.
Well, you were training to become a Pilates teacher.
It was 10 years ago. Oh my God, it was 2016 and it's 2026. So it was 10 years ago. That's crazy. Wow. So I can't believe that. It's 10 years ago. And I remember doing the training program and it was really good, learned a lot. And then as part of that, I had to actually teach a class. And I thought it would be really natural to me because I had taught dance for years, and teaching dance was so natural. I could like walk in the class and I knew exactly what I needed to do. It was very easy for me. I'd grown up in that environment. It was like so seamless. Had a little bit of coaching as well over the years, and that just made me a little bit better, but like the fundamentals were there. So I thought, oh, Pilates should be no problem. Like I know what this is all about. But I like walked into the class and my mind like blanked, and I was like, oh my God.
Loser.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, like I don't know what to do. I was like, I don't put the music on. That's not what I do. I was like, oh my God, like what do I do?
You led a Pilates class?
I did. That was part of the training.
Oh,
it was just like the other teachers' training.
Oh.
So it's not like it wasn't like strangers off the street or anything.
You bombed or what?
I didn't bomb, but I like walked in and my mind blanked.
You weren't as good as you thought you'd be?
No, it was not easy. It was terrifying. And it was just like 5 ladies that I'd been training with, lovely ladies, super kind and lovely, warm, not judgmental or anything. And I just, not an intimidating environment is what I'm trying to say. And so I walk into the room and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I was like, this is really scary. And I was like, okay, where should I start? I was like, okay, everyone lie on your mats. Okay. And I was like, okay, everybody, bring your knees into chair. And I was like, I had to literally
because you were doing it consciously.
Yes, 100%. It was so conscious. I had to think about every single thing I was saying and every single thing that they were going to have to do. But what I realized in that moment, I was like, this is going to take me years, if not decades, to get really good at this.
And do you want to do that?
Exactly. And so I knew what it was going to take. I knew I was going to, like, because I had suddenly realized, I was like, the reason dancing was so easy, dance teaching was so easy to me, is because I'd spent like my whole life in a freaking dance class. So I knew what it was all about. I hadn't even spent a fraction of that amount of time in a Pilates class, over the years. And so I realized, I was like, if I'm going to be excellent at this, and I like to be excellent at things, or world class, I want to be really good at what I do. I was like, I'm going to need to like give up everything else and like really focus on this.
And then you quit.
And then I quit because I knew what it was going to take, and I knew that I wasn't prepared and had perspective, and I knew I wasn't going to do that. You know what I mean? I knew I wasn't prepared to make that sort of commitment, and that in order to be an excellent Pilates teacher, I knew I could see what it was going to take. And I was like, nope, not for me. Isn't it good that I did that? That I like
to try it out.
I tried it out. Like I did the teacher training. I showed up. I did the class. I realized what it was going to take, and then I knew I couldn't commit to that. So I think it's good in a way. So I don't have to wonder.
That's how you know.
That's how I know.
Get it out of theory. Go try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
Exactly.
A few times. Would you like to earn more cash in your business? I'd like to help you with my free 21-day Money Momentum Challenge. We're going to rewire your mind, turn you into a money magnet, and start to increase your income. Click the link below and get started. Have you ever seen like a 65 or 70-year-old man that's done construction his whole life?
Yes.
They're not in good shape, are they?
No. They can't walk straight. They're like they're a bit grumpy.
Yeah, and I remember like in my 20s, late 20s, and I did construction for a living.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd see some of these old timers, and I'd be like, "Damn, I don't want to go all the way if that's what's going to happen to me."
Yeah.
And I remember there's this young man who got into pouring concrete. And I remember I pulled him aside one day and I said, "Get out, man, get out of this industry. Like this is hell." And I was still in it. I did manage to, extricate myself from it. He's still in it though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you see what's coming.
You can see it.
And then you see what's coming. I mean, the good thing about Pilates is that like you see elderly women that move like 25-year-olds. And you're like, that
not construction workers.
No. Like the Pilates people are so healthy.
350-year-old mummies.
Oh, like wrapped in toilet paper, like can barely. Yeah. No, not the Pilates people. The Pilates people age gracefully and they look amazing. So that's good. But I just knew that I'd rather be a student and a practitioner of it than a teacher of it. So, and that's cool. I want to talk about just the word consciousness. because I've read Think and Grow Rich before. You've studied it with clients a ton. It's a huge part of our mentorship. And I often find in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill will say things like money consciousness, sales consciousness, service consciousness. He'll take a concept and then just apply consciousness to it. And I remember in the early days of studying it, it was confusing to me because he kept saying it all the time and it felt kind of like old school and didn't feel like relevant to modern life in some way. But as I progressed, I could see the power in it and I suddenly it started to register. I was like, okay, so basically he's just trying to tell us that we need to fill our thinking mind with money or sales or service or whatever that word or whatever that thing is that we're needing to work on. And so how does that break down in like the habit nature for like high income earners? Like what would you say is like, what's filling their consciousness? And does it kind of rotate through? Is it sometimes it's money, sometimes it's sales, sometimes it's service, sometimes it's generosity or whatever it is? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like this idea of consciousness?
Consciousness is the most accurate word to describe a human being.
Yeah.
So you can, we have a mind and we live in a body. So we have a conscious mind and we have a subconscious mind. Well, you put those all together, your thinking and your feelings. We could also call that your state of mind or your consciousness. Mm-hmm. The word awareness is also consciousness. Mm-hmm. So any idea that you bring into your mind becomes your awareness. That's what your mind feeds upon. Mm-hmm. So it goes back to when you ask, like, what's the difference between under $1 million, 1 to 3, 5 plus, 10, 100? It's always in their thinking. Mm-hmm. It's their consciousness that's producing all their results. So every human being on this planet, their life is being produced by their own consciousness. So as we start to set goals, we bring that idea into our consciousness. And as we start to spend more and more time with it, we start to attract, we start to think. And thoughts move in it like a train. Mm-hmm. So thoughts attract more thoughts. So if you're like, oh, hey, I want to paint the house, then your thoughts are going to go to, what color? And then you're going to go to, what store should we go to? What brand should we buy? And then you go down the store and you're like, well, when should we schedule it? What room should we do? Should we do? And see, that one thought leads to more and more and more thoughts. Why? Because it's in your consciousness. So as you start to set 30-day year goals, your mind will start to move in that direction. You will start to like seek it. It's like you're a heat-seeking missile. So when he talks about the money consciousness, that is a mind that has been saturated with money. When you hear of the term sales consciousness, that is a mind that's saturated with sales. So at any given time, or the service consciousness, so at any given time, you want to have all three of those departments running, like all at the same time. But sometimes you drift a little too much into the service consciousness. Like my first ever group of clients I ever had, I became like a coach and I went out there and I was facilitating Bob Proctor's material and I got 7 sales. So I had 7 people and I was going to mentor them and coach them for 6 months. Mm-hmm. Well, I had a sales consciousness when I closed all those clients. After I enrolled all those clients, my mind was like, oh, I never done this before. So then my mind went into a service consciousness. I did not make another sale for 3 months. So I started to serve them because I thought I have to do that now. And I stopped thinking about selling. Mm-hmm. And I remember, so that I started in May, so like June, July, August. And I remember in September where I was not happy. I was like, what the hell? I said, I'm not making money anymore. Yeah. And then I realized, I drifted out of the sales consciousness. And I remember hearing an audio of Earl Nightingale. And Emerson said, the thing that grows is the thing that you give energy to, mm-hmm. right? So if you take a plant in your house, like many of us have killed plants. You ever killed a plant, Jack?
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah, a few of them, right?
Yeah.
So many of us have killed a plant, but you didn't take out a 6-shooter or a knife or mm-hmm. a chainsaw and like kill that plant, did you?
No.
No, you kill it through neglect.
Yeah.
And that's what consciousness is. So I started to neglect the sales consciousness and I over focused on the service consciousness. This happens all the time to entrepreneurs, all the time. And then they're like, oh, damn, the money's not coming. So then they leave that and then they go over here. Ideally, you want to have the business doing all of them: money consciousness,
Right.
sales consciousness, prospecting consciousness, all the habits that are in sales, and then the service consciousness. So you're focusing on the quality of your service as you deliver it, but you're also focusing on the quantity of the service as you deliver it.
Yeah.
And then that goes back to the capacity. So as you think about it, you'll find that your mind moves like that. The same as, hey, I want to paint the house. Then it goes to the color.
Totally. Totally. I
Right?
love
They
that.
build. So that's
No.
consciousness.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. And I can even see it like in my own day-to-day work and life. It's like, because my whole world really revolves around our events, and we do so many of them. So it's like there's like this season that is like filling and marketing, and then there's the actual service prep and then service delivery, and then there's the sales afterward, right? So it's like this whole cycle that repeats. But what's interesting now is that our business is growing to the point where we have multiple phases happening at the same time.
Yeah. Then
So
you need a
it's-
system to manage all
Yeah,
the...
which we do. And so we're focusing on multiple events concurrently, and they could be at different phases. And so then that requires different consciousness to be thinking about them.
That's right.
And yeah, it's so true. Like if you take your eye off one thing, it's like the other thing falls off. It's like, how can we prevent that from happening? And then that comes down to team building and capacity, all the same things.
Yeah, like for that, like if anyone's looking for a little practice within their business at Conway, we do team visualization in the morning. So in the morning we get on and we orientate our mind and we visualize one specific thing. And we focus on like event by event by event. And we spend weeks as a team inside that event room mentally.
Yeah.
And as we do that, we start to think about it. We start to attract on it, because you attract on your consciousness too. You literally attract things into your life based on what you're thinking about.
Yes.
So that's how we do it at Conway. And every morning we visualize together.
Yeah. That's the beauty of having, I mean, we have like basically an event company. It's kind of what we are.
Well, you know what's
We're like an event
interesting? You know,
producers.
what's very interesting
Yeah.
is that, so we visualize like sold out events.
Yeah.
And we go event by event. So we focus on like, yeah, we've got our big goals. We've got our vision. We've got our massive goals. We have our purposes. We have all these big things. And then we have our, our next big goal. And then we have like what's in front of us. So we're always working on what's in front of us, but bringing those higher things into what we're working on. And what's so interesting is that as we've been doing this, so we're focusing on the event, selling out the event. We're visualizing the client experience, visualizing what's happening at the event. And then now we just finished an event and we have another one in like 6 weeks or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we have a digital one in 3 weeks.
Yeah, but we have this in-person one in like 6 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
And this morning I was like, oh, because it's already sold out.
Right. Yeah. I know.
So I was like, well, what are we going to visualize?
Well, there's like 5 more to fill, David. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, but we've been on the sequence of like going there over and over. And then
Right.
when you go there, you're like, okay, well, that's done. So I guess we start filling up the next one.
Yeah.
Like further in advance.
Yeah.
So then we started getting our consciousness. We're selling out months in advance, not days in advance.
No, months.
And then it starts to build.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, this is the most amazing way to live life.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine that. Imagine having an organization where you rely on visualization to produce all your results.
Mm-hmm.
That's not common. I don't think they teach that at Harvard Business School.
I've never went to Harvard Business School, so I can't say.
I got a strong suspicion they don't have the visualize with your team every morning class. I got a feeling.
Probably not.
No.
I like it. It's really cool. And like the thought train is like the consciousness train is something to just be aware of. Like all business owners should just become aware of that. Like it can be paced out, right? Like being aware of it, knowing that you have to get in front of it, and then knowing that you want to like fill in the gaps in your team in order to maintain these different areas of business. Like you've got to keep the sales going. You've got to keep the service going. You have to. You have to keep the content going. You have to keep this going.
Yeah, you'd be shocked. Like,
Yeah.
So when I went through that dip when I first started, because I had so much my whole life, like I was still a carpenter, I was still going to work, I was doing this part-time, evenings and weekends. And here I am beat myself up for not producing results that I had not thought about in the last 3 months. And the second I changed my mind back to like, oh, damn, like sale a week, that was my goal. So I started thinking about it. That started to happen.
You just started to fill your consciousness with it.
You see, people think that they have to do something in order to like, that then they can get somewhere. It's totally backwards. You can think about something regardless of where you are. And through that thinking, you will then start to move yourself in that direction. You don't need to know the how before you start thinking about something.
Right. It just flows in.
Every time.
And it does flow in, like the answers to the questions or the concerns, they just seems to appear.
Can I share another cool thing?
Yeah.
So this was was mind blowing for me in my first year. So I used to aggressively start groups of people because I had sales targets.
Yeah.
And I started a group in March of 2018. And then I started another group. So I'd be running that group. These were 6-month mentorships. So then I started another group in April of 2018. And then I started another group. So 3 different groups. So I started another one in May of 2018. And this isn't like, I'm not judging like the people. It was unbelievable. The difference in like the quality or caliber of the person between the March group and the April group was incredible. Like, the April group were a different kind of person. The difference between the April group and the May group, again, there was like an upgrade. Now, I don't only talk about human beings like that because, that's just not that polite. But it kind of is what it is. Like, they were of a higher caliber. And here I am thinking, well, it's me. It's like the client base is a reflection of me.
Right.
So as I was improving my own consciousness, the people I was attracting into my service were increasing. And since then, I have coached people in the MBA, the WMBA, multimillionaires. I had a client that was worth north of 330 million. The clients that we attract today are on a totally different frequency and vibration, and just a totally different place in life. It's just amazing as I progress. Like, the man that I was when I started, there was no chance in hell I was attracting some of the clients that I have today.
Right.
And I'm just going to assume, based upon experience, that I'll probably be saying the same thing from 10 years from now.
That's cool. It's like so interesting that you had that experience with like unique cohorts like that, because you can see your own progression through the people that you're working with. It's really neat.
This business that we do is so trippy.
Yeah.
And trippy is the word. If I start to notice certain conversation coming out of the client base, I remember becoming aware of this too. It's because I am engaged in that myself. It is crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Your client base is a reflection of you. The invisible umbilical cord. We're all connected to a portion of mankind, just that some of it is completely unconscious.
I know, I've seen it.
Incredible.
It is incredible. And you can shape the results of people too. Like as a coach, like your consciousness will shape their results.
It is the most determining factor of them all.
Yeah.
Because what's really happening is that they're absorbing your consciousness.
That's why anyone that's in service delivery coaching, anything like that, like they have to be on an edge all the time, because your clients inherit your consciousness, your capacity.
Yeah.
And you can't give what you don't have. And so keeping an edge on yourself.
That's all you can do. So you don't need to have fear. You just need to keep getting an edge all the time.
Yeah. That's why it's not about the first workshop. It's about the 1,000th workshop.
Exactly.
And it's like the depth of your
Unless you're a Pilates instructor.
Hey, I tried it. It wasn't for me. I knew what it was going to take. I think it shows maturity.
I'm telling you, man, don't knock it till you try it.
Exactly. But it shows maturity, right? That I left knowing that
But don't do drugs.
Are we having the same conversation? I feel like we're on two different trains right now. Okay. So like just to summarize that section of the show today, I feel like the depth of our consciousness will be a direct informant or like equals your capacity level. It's like they're
Your
one and the
world is just
same.
showing you where you're at.
Well, it's like kind of like the same word to talk about the same thing in a way. Do you know what I mean? But like, because your capacity is your consciousness, but it's like a certain level of your consciousness.
Yeah.
And then that will then form, in exterior results. And for some reason, I like hope that this like does connect back to what the theme of today was, which was like habits of like high income earners. But I think we got there, even though it like totally went into a direction I didn't expect, which is cool. I liked it. But to summarize those habits again, and then we'll put a bow on this. So the habit of setting a goal, the habit of providing, I'm going to say excellent service or world-class service.
Always getting better.
The habit of receiving and implementing feedback. And then the habit of increasing your capacity.
Yeah.
In like quantity of your ability to deliver, which is really your capacity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool. That's really how that's going to increase your income.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree. Awesome. Final thoughts? Or you feel like you've said your piece?
No, I think that, I got one more thought. It's interesting in the world today. I went to the gym yesterday, and there was 2 world champions in there. So Lori, the coach from CrossFit, and there was a young man in there, 18. He was the right arm world champ in
like
his
arm wrestling?
Yeah, world champ.
Cool.
The guy was like this, and then he had these like
jacked arms.
He was like Popeye, yeah, and 18.
Wow.
And he was bronze on the left, though.
Oh.
And he said, but I think I've worked a lot on my left. He's like, I think I am the world. I think the next time I go, I'll have left and right. Like, that's amazing, So that's what's in his consciousness. He wants to be the world champ of arm wrestling. And I was talking to him after, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I said, when did you start working out? And he said, when I was 14. So all this health industry, social media, all these things like that would, I'm 41 now. You are not pumping iron at 14 years old.
That was not in my frame of reference at all.
Not even close.
No.
You'll see it around, there's some boys and girls or men and women now, in their early 30s, late 20s. That's kind of when that started. And it's like a bit of a social media thing. Mm-hmm. So that put it in everyone's consciousness.
Right.
There was a point prior to 2006 when they say that less than 2%, I was reading I can't quote the exact thing, but I was researching it big time. And I was reading articles that, one of the articles said that less than 2% of the global population had ever heard of the law of attraction before The Secret. And after The Secret, and in today's modern world, they say over 75%. If you went up to talk, like if you talked about the law of attraction to your parents, they'd be like, what are you talking about? If you talk about the law of attraction to a 25-year-old person, they're like, yeah, they know about it. That's right. So this young man, because of the consciousness of society, because of society's paradigm, he started to pump some iron. Mm-hmm. And he said that there's kids in the gym, like who just got into grade 9 because they pump in the high school gym. Mm-hmm. And then they go off to their other gym after they evolved to that. And he said there was 14-year-olds like benching like 300 pounds in there.
Crazy.
Amazing. So it's because of the consciousness. And let's say with our parents, a lot of people like, giving their parents crap all the time. It's like, your parents came from a time when you didn't really have to be all that efficient. They came from a time when, you could work 35 years for the same place and it'd be all good. They didn't have to run to keep up as much as we do today. We have to really be moving and shaking all the time. Yeah, and it's not slowing down.
Specifically entrepreneurs too.
100%.
Like you don't have a chance.
It's like now, just because you're an entrepreneur, you have to become a content creator.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
Right.
So it's the conscious, whatever is in the consciousness, that is what starts to move through our system. Culture is a consciousness. So as you start to change your goals and you start to let your mind go to a different place, that idea will start to fill up your consciousness. And if you want to increase your income, I'll tell you, all you need is to develop a money consciousness. If you want to increase your sales, all you need is a sales consciousness. If you want to improve the quality of your service, all you need to do is start to think about that. Your mind will start to sequence that, and it will start to come up with more and more ideas on how to do that. And then just one by one, start to implement them into your life.
If this podcast is opening your eyes to powerful new ideas, helping you think bigger, and opening your level of awareness, be sure to hit subscribe right now and leave us a 5-star review. That will help us reach more ambitious people just like you, ready to grow.
Produced at
Sound Lounge by T-Bone.